Hello, everyone, and welcome to a bonus segment of the Brothers Take podcast, where we like to take a bit of time to talk about something that we want to talk about, but it's outside of the regular episode release schedule. And in this bonus segment, the first bonus segment of 2025, me and my brother Eric would like to give our thoughts on the first initial look at the Switch 2. I
Mm.
think when this was, there was rumors that it was going to be unveiled this particular week, and I think I thought it was going to be a much bigger thing or a much bigger reveal or a more in-depth reveal, and I thought, oh, it'll probably be an episode then. But
Mm.
because it's only really a first look and the proper detailed reveal is actually coming later, I think that's why we said, all right, let's just do a bonus then,
Bonus, yeah.
because there's probably not enough there to get a full episode out of it yet, but there probably will be later. I'm sure we will have
For
a
sure,
full episode
yeah.
on the Switch too. Didn't they say at the end there's going to be like a Nintendo Direct in April?
Something like that. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's quite a bit away.
yeah.
Um,
It's like this is all you're
so
leaving us with for like a couple of months. Come on, Yeah, I'm surprised actually at the. But anyway, so we're gonna give our take on the Switch 2. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. If you're watching YouTube, jump down in the comments, share your thoughts. If you enjoyed this discussion, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future discussions, including when we do get to talk about the Switch 2 in further detail after that Nintendo Direct. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at the Brothers Take again to give your take on the Nintendo Switch 2. How are we feeling about the name?
don't like it.
Yeah, what were you expecting? I wasn't expecting. I know everyone was calling it the Switch 2, but I always thought that was just like a placeholder name
Right, yeah, yeah.
because we didn't know what it was going to be called. You know,
Right, like you had Breath of the Wild 2. It was a
it was just
placeholder
until we
name.
find out that it's actually called Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's PlayStation's thing.
the number thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like even Xbox doesn't dare step on the whole 2, 3, 4. Like, that's PlayStation.
yeah. But it is it. I mean, it makes sense from a marketing perspective. It's a lot easier for a parent going in to know that that's the new thing. Like PlayStation had the
Yes.
right idea, I think, when they just said, "Let's keep
Oh,
it simple. You number each one. It's
for
the
sure.
newest one."
I think Xbox has the worst naming scheme,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
to be honest.
Yes.
PlayStation has the best one in convenience, but I always just liked,
The
because you
Nintendo
had,
ones always felt very creative.
yes, you had the DS, then the DS 3D, then there was the Wii, then the Wii U, then you had the Switch, and even before the DS, there was the Game Boy or GameCube, and you had the Game Boy. They never really had.
Have they
Yeah, there
ever
was.
had a something two?
I don't think so.
So is this the first time?
Yeah, I think that's why it's throwing me off because like,
Unexpected.
you didn't do Wii 2, you did Wii U. And you didn't do DS2, I don't think. I think it was
I wonder if they're
DS3D.
learning from that particular console cycle. Like, because obviously that was the last one that they did, right?
Right.
Before they did the Switch series.
Mm.
Um, and if I remember correctly, I don't think the Wii U sold particularly well. And I think there was a lot of confusion as to, is this like a just another version of the Wii? Is it like a Wii Pro type thing? Is it an
Mm.
accessory for the Wii? Maybe they took a bit of learning there and just went, you know what, if we call this the Switch 2, there'll be no confusion. Again, I would have preferred, or even if, like, I know Adam jokingly said in our chat, the Super Nintendo Switch, or
Oh,
and
that was a joke.
or the Nintendo Super Switch, maybe. And well, maybe it wasn't a joke, but I actually think it would have been a pretty cool name.
Yeah, Super Switch, why not?
Yeah, yeah, it would have like called back to the early days of
Mm.
SNES and stuff, and but also be like, this is now the superior, like this is
Switch.
the better Switch or whatever. But
Yeah.
either way, name aside, obviously at the end of the day, no one's really going to be debating the name for very long, because that's just an initial like, okay, so that's the name, and
Yeah.
after a
Yeah.
while, everyone will get used to it, and people will just be talking about Switch 2, Switch 2. What do you think of how it's looking, or
I really liked the trailer. I thought I liked the showing the Switch one and then showing it mold into the Switch 2. I thought it was a really well graphicked trailer.
Yeah, I thought it was done really cool. I thought it was cool to start there, and then to slowly like transition into
The
and
Switch.
in doing so showing the differences that it's
Yes.
bigger and some of the placement of things is slightly different and it looks like there's a few new features, but obviously we don't know fully yet until
Mm.
like for example, and a lot of people are talking about this. There's one point where the Joy Cons click into these other pieces and are down on the ground and they kind of race for a second like mice,
Yes.
right? And then they come back up again, right? And so some people are like, "Oh, that's just like a fun little gimmick thing," but then others are like, "No, actually, maybe that's that you can use it as a mouse and you can actually play like RTS games on the Switch."
That would be nuts because I
Because
thought
they
it
were
was
looking at the
I.
different button placement on the top of it and everything, and the reason that they
Oh.
had them moving like they're like, I mean, everything else in the trailer is showing off a function, so why wouldn't that also be one?
If that's true, that'd be very cool. I
Yep.
just thought it was a fun little childish gimmick.
Right.
Um, Now that you say it, maybe, yeah, okay. That could be that's
Especially where
class.
they're still putting emphasis on like using not just yeah, obviously you can dock it, but
Mm,
they really put a lot of emphasis on that the support at the back of it to use it as a
right.
screen itself. Um, like using so if you're using the mouse, then basically like a little portable like computer,
Computer,
you know.
yeah.
But I don't think that would be for like using it like internet search or anything like that. I think I just mean like for literal RTS style games and stuff.
Right, yeah, yeah.
So
If they work.
maybe that's a function. Another thing is the underneath the home button,
Mm,
there's another square button, right? So if you look at the Switch console that we have, right, the
yes.
Switch One, um, on each of the Joy Cons, there's a little square button on either side, right? One of
Yes.
them has the home symbol. The one on the right has the home symbol, which obviously
Okay.
takes you back to home. And the one on the left has a little circle in it, and that's your screenshot.
Is it? Is that what that does?
Have you never tried that? Yeah, that's your screenshot button if you want to
Oh,
take any screenshots, pictures, and stuff. So on this one, there's a new square button underneath the home button. So the little one at the circle is still on the left, the one at the home is still on the right, and there's another new button with no symbol on it. Maybe they're hiding what the symbol is.
that one is for
And
what? Scratching your ass?
we don't know what it's for. I'm curious, what do you think it could be for? Like
Okay.
what could they add to the Switch? What new feature
Uh,
does it need?
Maybe
What's it missing?
it could be a record.
Video record.
Yeah,
I'm thinking the same thing. Streaming?
maybe.
Stream from the Switch?
Yeah, could very much so. Yeah, yeah, because you have. I mean, if one is screenshot, one is home. I mean, that's the next thing, isn't it? Is video capture your gameplay.
Right, because this Switch has USB ports.
Right.
Is that for plugging in a USB microphone?
Very possible.
So are they? Yeah, these are we don't know yet, right? This is
Mm,
all speculation based on they've left a couple of, like they've basically shown it's like it's going to be the Switch as you remember it. Bigger, better probably, you know, better specs
yeah, yeah.
probably. Better graphics is probably the main thing that people are going to be looking for from this thing. I also think it looks more mature.
Yes.
It has a more mature, almost as if the kids who grew up playing the Switch have grown up and we've made this for them nearly.
Yeah, it kind of
Kind of a
looks a
thing.
little bit like the Steam Deck.
A little bit. A little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. The Steam Deck is probably capable of like playing games at a higher fidelity and
Well,
better
the Steam
performance
Deck
and all that.
is massive.
Yeah.
I've seen it. It's massive.
No, but I mean as well, it's
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
like I'd say the Switch 2 won't be able to match the Steam Deck in terms of graphics capabilities and performance.
Probably not.
However, the Switch 2 can be docked and taken on the go. So it has
Mm.
that, you know what I mean? And I
Yeah.
love that feature. I think it's so cool. I played a lot of Switch when I got it last year and I'm like, "Oh
On your
man, this
honeymoon.
is so great." And throughout the year, like we played fuckload of Mario Kart. Fuckload. It was one of our most played games last year.
Nice.
Um
And you were putting it off the whole time.
I know, yeah. They showed off a new Mario Kart there at the end as well. So obviously, like very briefly, but so obviously they're saying that's going to be the launch game with it, new Mario Kart.
Well, I mean, it's a very good party game.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so popular. They know everyone's going to want to pick it. It just makes
Mm.
sense. Like, it's like, what's the first thing you're going to play? Well, throw on Mario Kart. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I wonder, will obviously they have announced that most of Switch 1 games will play on the Switch 2, which is great because it means that when you get the Switch 2, you could still try out your library on it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I wonder, will Switch 1 Joy-Cons be able to connect to Switch 2? Obviously not physically on the sides because it's different inputs and everything,
Yeah.
but I wonder, can they pair with it that if you have one, that can be the player 2 controller or something for
That
a
would
game like Mario
be
Kart?
um,
Probably
that would
not,
be
because then people would just not buy. They want people to buy the new Joy-Cons, obviously.
yeah, I suppose it is similar enough, isn't it? Kind of like if you buy the PS5, the PS4 controller doesn't work with it, even though
Yeah,
that'd be handy. It'd be pretty sound of them if they did that,
yeah. It's not likely though, is it?
but no, probably not.
Like they would probably want that when you buy. You could buy probably like a Switch 2, just standard, just the Switch 2, and then or you could probably get like a packaged thing where it's the Switch 2, an extra Joy-Con, and Mario Kart. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yes,
that's
yeah.
more likely, and that's the one that they know is going to sell like hotcakes at Christmas. Like,
Do you play hotcakes at Christmas?
no, it's just got to sell like hotcakes at Christmas. But yeah. Anything else on the Switch 2 for now, or
Um, well, for anyone who's looking at the videos of it, I'm sure they've heard this point before, but the connectors do look very thin.
yeah, Adam brought this up as well in our
Yeah.
in our group chat, and I think it is a fair point, and people will need to see for themselves like how sturdy is it and everything.
Mm,
But because the connectors for the Joy Cons, the what they call the male ends, are actually on the console and not on the Joy-Con.
right.
It's like, so if they snap off, now you need a whole new console. Whereas if it was just on the Joy-Cons and
You
insert
just get
into the
enough.
console, if it broke, then you get a new Joy-Con, which is obviously a lot
Yeah.
cheaper. I'm sure there's reasons. I'm sure they must have tested these things, but I can understand the concern. People look at it going, "Oh, I don't know about that. Like, is that a good design choice?"
Yeah, because I mean, like obviously you can give the argument of just be careful,
Yeah, right. Okay,
but
but like kids play these
it's
things like as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean like it's not a good defense. Like
No.
just be careful because if you know if everyone was careful, nothing would break. Like so it's not. It looks delicate in the video.
Yeah.
It looks tiny and flimsy. So hopefully it's not.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works. Okay. It
I
is
am.
weird though, and not slotting it down. You know that
Yeah.
you're putting it that
Clicking
you're
in instead
clicking
of.
in slot rather than slotting down.
Yeah, I
Maybe it's
wonder.
more.
I wonder why that is. There must be other functions or other things that
And Adam was telling me yesterday, actually last night, that the buttons for release are just on the back of the Joy Cons,
they are.
which means
So
again, how sturdy is that?
you push
Like,
them and pull them out. Yeah.
I suppose yeah, you're pulling out, which is
Rather.
nice.
Yeah.
So I want, so you just have to make sure your pull out game is not that good
Oh
when you're
Jesus
holding it.
Christ. But yeah, so it'd be hard to know how sturdy that is. But I suppose all the like your IGNs and all these crowds are going
Mm,
to get hands-on previews. They've highlighted that some of them do have concerns about that. So
okay.
I am damn sure they're going to be checking that. They're going to
Yes.
be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
checking the quality of that when they're giving their previews. Like, and they're usually very honest about whether they think something is good or not. Like, they're not. Okay, everyone gets mad when IGN gives anything a 7 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. That's
Yeah.
a game,
Yeah.
though. When it comes to actual hardware, like, they will tell you if that was weak as fuck, that was soft, that was broken, that, like,
Mm.
they're not going to be like, oh, yeah, I give the Switch 2's little connector a 7 out of 10. Figure out what that means by yourself. It will be an actual, like, breakdown of how functional is it.
Could you
And I'm
could
not,
you
and I don't just mean IGN. There's lots of crowds are going to be
could
doing
you
previews.
imagine if that's what the various different reviewers
The
did?
hands-on previews. It's like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
do you think of the Switch 2? The Joy-Cons were a 7 out of 10. The screen was an 8 out of 10, but no context as to,
No.
but why though? Yeah, that wouldn't be a very helpful review at all.
That would be
So
terrible.
at the end of it all, it's a 6 out of 10. You're like, so it's bad? It's good? I don't. What does that mean? Don't buy.
I know, but
listening
very,
to,
very good video. I did like the video. I thought it was very
Video was
funny.
good.
One of the comments was saying that someone was saying, it's like, wow, Nintendo were the last people to announce this. Because
That's
everyone
true.
else obviously
Everyone,
was.
yeah, we all know about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think that I think like people have been waiting a long time for this, and I I feel like it's a little bit of. I think the trailer was really cool. I think it looks cool.
Mm.
You know, and we've said ourselves maybe the name isn't the most inventive name ever, but you know what are you gonna do? Um, I feel like it wasn't as big a moment as it could have been, and I actually think I would have held off and waited till. I know people there was leaks and all that, so they're probably
Mm.
at a point where they're like, "Oh, look, we're just gonna have to show this thing because like," and but where people are just constantly messaging us, "When is it coming? When is it coming?" Blah blah blah. But they obviously have a Nintendo Direct planned
Yeah.
where they're going to showcase the features of this thing and maybe a launch lineup of games
Mm-hmm.
and a launch date and a price, all those things.
Mm-hmm.
If we knew a Nintendo Direct was coming and everyone knows, well, they're definitely going to show the Switch 2 at that
Mm-hmm.
anyway. I think it would have been a more talking point to show it at a showcase
Yeah, well, it's a bit like
and the features and just have lots of exciting things rather than at the moment it's like looks cool. We have a fair idea. We know it's bigger and all this stuff. We has slightly different look to it, but there's still a lot of questions, and we actually have to wait quite a while before we get those answers.
Yeah, but it's a bit like the GTA 6 trailer, isn't it? Where it's like,
Yeah,
this looks great, but
we
this
want to know
just dro-
more.
well, not just that, but like it just dropped on. It's just like, here you go, have fun. You know what I mean? It's like it wasn't like GTA 6 wasn't at a showcase. It was just dropped online
Yeah,
one day. There you go. And this is kind of the same.
yeah, but this one dropped, and the only reason we knew it was dropping was because leakers were saying we've heard a rumor it's going to drop. Whereas GTA
That's true.
6's trailer, Rockstar said we are going to show the trailer for GTA 6 on this day at this time. Streamers were able to tune in. They made a big thing of it, like. Whereas Nintendo just dropped this trailer. And
Yeah.
I don't know if they're giving it, I felt like it didn't give it the gravitas that maybe it deserves because the Switch was a huge deal in the, you know, it's one of the,
Mm.
it probably is the highest selling um, gaming console since the PS2, maybe? I don't know. I'm not
Probably.
quite
I mean, the
sure.
Wii was
The
very
Wii was
well sold.
incredibly popular, yeah. Um, is the Switch more popular than the Wii?
I don't know.
We
I
must
don't know. I don't
find
have
that
the
out.
numbers.
If anyone knows, let us know. I mean, I know everyone was playing the Wii, like even like parents who don't play games,
Yeah.
like our parents were playing the Wii, because it
I
became
love
just
the
a,
Wii.
a family console thing. The
Yeah.
Switch is a little bit more personal. People take it themselves, the
Mm.
handheld and on the go. But then that makes me wonder, do a lot more people have Switches as secondary consoles? You know, so
It's yeah, I'd say that's a very common console, like secondary console for a lot of people. And again, a lot of kids would have it. Very handy for like college students as well.
commuting.
Um, commuting. Lots of people who want to play their like Animal Crossing or something like that.
Yeah, during
Um,
COVID, it must have sold like fucking
oh,
crazy.
well, sure, there was no other console, was there?
Exactly.
All,
Yeah, it's too hard to get anything
I think
else.
that might have been when I got the Switch. Was during COVID,
Ah.
maybe.
I think I imagine the bigger screen is an OLED screen as well,
I would assume so.
because the Switch OLED display is gorgeous. Like,
Is it?
yeah, it is.
He's
It's
showing
really
off
good.
there, yeah. You'd be like, oh, look at me,
Just
my
saying,
own LED screen.
it looks good. It's good. I imagine things are going to look even better on the Switch too. You know, otherwise there's no point. Like, you know, otherwise it would just be a Switch variation. It's the Switch 2. It has to be bigger, and it literally is, and better, or
Yes.
there's no point. So
I wonder if your Arkham Knight will work on it.
that'd be really interesting.
There's a
I'll
game to
finally
check
be
on
able
it.
to play it on the Switch. I will try. Yeah, yeah. So because I had the Arkham trilogy for the Switch, and honestly, Asylum and City work just fine on it. Because a lot of people reviewed the trilogy incredibly badly, but I know why. Asylum and City work pretty good on it. kind of like their original PS3 and
Mm.
Xbox 360 counterparts. Not as high fidelity as like the PS4 and Xbox Series remasters and stuff like that. But pretty good. Arkham Knight cannot run on it. It's fucking ridiculous. I think I got 10 minutes in and was like, well, that's broken. I really
Like,
experienced a broken ass game.
yeah, well, like, in what way? Because yeah, I've yet to experience really a truly broken game.
I'll let you borrow it. I can't explain it. I'll let you borrow it
You
and
know what's gonna happen? You're
see
gonna
if you
give it
can
to me,
play
and
it.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna be like, "Guess this is fine." What are you talking
You
about?
won't. I guarantee you won't.
Uh,
This it's unplayable. Honestly, it's unplayable.
yeah, so
Which is a shame.
hopefully it'll be playable on Switch. It's a weird choice.
That'd be a
It's a
good test.
weird thing to release though on the Switch.
I think they just wanted they wanted to say it's the Arkham trilogy, and they didn't want to leave it out and all that kind of stuff.
I know.
But yeah. So, guys, let us know what you think of the Switch 2. Any theories as to do you think those Joy-Cons can be used in a mouse-like feature? Are you worried about the placement of things or how flimsy possibly the design could be in terms of sticking the Joy-Cons on? What do you think that extra button does? What are your theories about it? Yeah, we want to know all your thoughts on the Switch 2. Are you excited for it? I am looking forward to that Nintendo Direct. I do want to know more. I want to know what it does differently. What are the new features? Because I think that will determine whether it's a day one purchase or I'll get it down the line kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
For me,
if it's super amazing and it has a super amazing launch lineup, you could be like, oh, that's a fucking awesome Christmas present this year. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but I think I'll still be a kind of I'll get it down the line because I can't imagine it having a lineup that makes me go, oh my,
it has Infinity Blade remake on
unless it has
it.
Infinity Blade.
That'll be the only thing that could get out
That will maybe sway me. That
yeah.
put Skyrim on it.
But just before we wrap up this bonus episode of about the Switch 2, on the same day, Sony on the other side released the first trailer for the Until Dawn movie.
Oh yeah, they
It was
did.
the same day.
That was yeah.
We've shared our thoughts in the group chat. I don't think any of us are in any way particularly fucking interested in what they've decided to do with this. But I've seen there's some people out there who are like, oh, this looks like a really fun movie, or this looks like an interesting concept and this kind of stuff. So, what do you think?
If it wasn't Until Dawn, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, the
I
different
think.
genres thing is an interesting take.
Yeah,
If it just wasn't Until Dawn, it's just annoying that it's like, oh, it's another video game adaptation that's like name only.
yes,
Pretty
because they
much.
don't even use the actors from the game, and like the
But I don't.
characters.
It's not those characters though.
No, and like that's really annoying because like the characters in the game physically look and sound like the actors who play them, who are on-screen actors. So why didn't they just use like why only get back Peter Stormare? Why not get back any of the
Because
others?
they can't afford Rami Malek anymore.
Well, maybe.
I don't think this movie has a particularly massive budget.
No. Now the Wendigos look cool. I will spoiler alert. There are Wendigos in the trailer. They do
Yeah.
look cool.
Yeah.
Good idea, but yeah, it's again one of those things where it's like, why didn't you just do the game? The game was there. It's already a movie. It's literally a playable movie.
Yeah, my whole thinking was more. I don't know if adaptation. I don't know who adaptations are for, right? My thinking is always this when it comes to adaptation. So when it comes to if I was to think about, if you read a book, right? You're like, man, this would make a great movie for people who won't read.
Yes.
I want them to know this story, and there's a lot of people who won't read this book. But this book, man, if they knew this story, someone needs to make this into a movie for the people who won't read, so
Yes.
they get this story, right? And I always feel the same way with video games. You play a certain, not all games should be turned into movies or shows, right? Some games are perfectly in the medium that they're in. A game is the perfect way to experience it, right? But there are some where you're like, man, this story is so good. And I know there's a lot of people who just won't give video games a chance, won't play them, won't try them. But they need to see this story. We should make this into a movie for those people. And then the people who have played it can just appreciate experiencing the story again, basically. That's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe other people are like, no fucking way, just play the game. But I'm thinking about people who won't play the game. And I think Until Dawn would have made a fantastic either short Netflix series or, yes, a B horror movie. And this is not the Until Dawn adaptation. This is just called Until Dawn.
Yeah, I think
it might be like a premise for an Until Dawn sequel. You know what I mean?
I think like some comment. I think you said it yourself as well, Chris, in the chat, where really should be called like the Dark Pictures or something like that. Like just be part of that anthology.
Yeah. I think no one would bat an eye then.
No one bad eye because everyone else is looking at it going, this is Happy Death Day 2 or like Happy Death Day mixed with Groundhog Day mixed with like essentially anything but Until Dawn.
Yeah, and it's weird that they like, and look at, I'm sure they've put a lot of hard work into this, the guys that are making it.
Yeah.
So not to take away from them at all, but just the way that they pitched it in the kind of first look teaser before they got the actual trailer was like, we've put a really original twist on this. It's like, there's lots of horror movies have actually already done this.
Yes.
Maybe, okay, the slight little twist you put on it is each time they wake up, this time it's a different genre rather than the same thing again. But then that's just Happy Death Day meets Cabin in the Woods.
Right, yeah, that's another one people say, Cabin in the Woods.
So it's, yeah, I don't know.
It's like, it Until Dawn already had different horror genres in it, and yet perfectly melded it together.
Yes.
And so again, it's like
in a coherent story.
In a coherent story where it's like that's what, and as you said, Chris, yes, when you play like The Last of Us, right, and they turn that into a TV show, it's like finally other people can experience that Last of Us story. And luckily, when they made that, they stayed as true as possible to the story. Yes, there was some things that were different, but it's still in design and characters, they stayed very true, and that did very well.
I kind of thought that was going to change things for adaptations. I kind of thought everyone would then go, all right, okay, I guess what people want is the story.
Yeah, well, apparently not.
I feel like the thing as well, that what made Until Dawn such a good game, we are big fans of the Until Dawn game, so maybe this movie's not for us, right? But but like, what it did well was it imitated shitty writing, as in really badly written horror movies. Right? In a really cleverly written way. Where it did cleverly interweave these different genres and everything into one coherent story, and it cleverly pointed at all the tropes and everything, and used the tropes, but then turned them on their head a little bit, and like it looked like the dumbest thing ever, and the characters are dumb and they do dumb, stupid shit. But that's because you're making them do it, you know? So it's like, it was a very clever game. Painted as a dumb B horror movie, you know? And yeah, it's just a shame that that's not what we're actually getting, because you know what though? Maybe this Until Dawn movie will be fantastic as a movie in its own right.
Maybe they're paying homage to the original footage of. Remember when we were first watching Until Dawn footage and we were like, "This doesn't look great." Yeah, it doesn't look great. And then we played it. We were like, "This is amazing." Maybe this trailer is. Maybe these guys are so fucking on point that this trailer we're like, "The fuck is this?" And it's actually going to be the best thing ever.
No, yeah, maybe it'll be a very good movie, but will it be a good adaptation? It's not looking like that. But
no.
Hey, that's just our thoughts. This is why it's called the Brothers Take. Brothers give our take. We want to hear your take. We're not always right. We're not always wrong. But we want to hear what you guys think. If you guys have been watching YouTube, make sure you jump down in the comments, share your thoughts on the Until Dawn trailer if you've seen it. If you haven't, go check it out. But also, and more importantly, the Switch 2 reveal. What did you think of that? Do let us know. If you enjoyed this bonus, please do give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring the notification bell for all future content, including our full-length episodes that release every single week. And to those who listen to us on audio platforms, you could also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and X at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on the Switch 2 and the Until Dawn adaptation. Thank you very much for checking out this bonus episode. We will be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.